Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great America Show. Thanks so much for being with us on this very special episode of the Great America Show. 24 years past 9/11, 2001, a day that changed America forever. The political landscape, the international landscape, changed the lives of just about 3,000 people on that day. Many, many more after the fact. Just about a year ago, I buried an uncle who was a first responder on 9/11, who died of brain cancer, a brain tumor from the cleaning up of debris at 9/11. So it's a day that'll live in our hearts, especially us New Yorkers here and everyone affected until the day I think we die. It was a day that shook our city, a day that changed the landscape of our city forever. And a lot of things have happened, but those people, those nearly 3,000 lives lost, and the many, many others who were lost after that horrific day will live in our lives, the families, our friends, forever. I want to turn to an update on another terrible situation that we've been dealing with here in America, and the assassination on political icon and great patriot Charlie Kirk, who was brutally gunned down yesterday at an event in Utah. A coward, still out on the loose as of right now, as we film this episode of the Great America Show. Earlier this morning, the Utah Department of Public Safety put out a press release and a presser on where they're at right now in this investigation. They believe they do have a suspect with their eye on this suspect. Don't have him in custody just yet, but some still images of him. Here's a clip from that press conference earlier today.
Just to recap yesterday's events, at around 12:20 p.m., political influencer Charlie Kirk was at Utah Valley University participating in a student-sponsored event with Turning Point USA. Charlie was shot at that event. He was transported to a local hospital where he later passed. Last night, his body was moved to the state office of the medical examiner. We will continue to facilitate movements to get him home today and with his family. Yesterday, during the investigative process, we located a couple of persons of interest. We interviewed those individuals, and after releasing them and after clearing them of being suspects, they face scrutiny, they face threats. We asked the public to be patient with the investigative process. These individuals were not suspects, they were people of interest. We ask that you do not impose into those people and that investigative process. They don't deserve that harassment for being subject to that. I'd like to thank all the investigators that are involved in this. They have worked around the clock. All day yesterday, through the night last night, investigators from the State Bureau of Investigations, from county, from city agencies, the university, our federal partners with the FBI, the ATF, and many others. Those are just a few of the people that we have involved in this. I'd like to thank all of them for their strong work. Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately.
I do believe the FBI does have their their radar over the target as we see it. But I think it's very smart that they're downplaying it a little bit to not maybe tip off this suspect who they have their eye on, to not spook them out to maybe do something more provocative or kill themselves. I believe that this perpetrator, this evil human being, man, whatever it may be, they have to be brought in alive. They have to be brought to the knees of justice. No more of these people killing themselves. They need to be brought to the knees of justice to ensure this doesn't happen anymore in America. This political climate that the Democrats have gotten us into, it's reprehensible. It's absolutely disgusting. It puts a target on each and every one of our backs and our foreheads who come out here every single day and do a show. Think about it. You say one thing that someone listening or watching it disagrees with, and they'll come get you. And as we've seen, these cowards do it from afar, do it from behind. They're not men. They're not human beings. They're cowards. No heart, no soul, no mind. It's absolutely disgusting, as I think a lot of us remain sick to our stomachs thinking about and watching what happened to Charlie yesterday. I happen to know Charlie for a very long time, and it's just disgusting to think that it could be any one of us at any time, because these cowards don't know how to handle themselves. The passive aggressiveness in these people that makes them commit these crimes, these heinous acts of violence. The mainstream media and some people on the left cheering the death and assassination of Charlie, and it's an absolute disgrace. It's an absolute disgust. And there's a special place in hell that I think these people are going to end up one day. Very far from Charlie up in heaven, who's now joined the great Lou Dobbs as they smile down upon us and guide this nation, hopefully through a time of peace and a golden age. But you've got the leftist mainstream media blaming this on President Trump, blaming it on rhetoric. But there's not one instance that I can think of that a right-winger, a MAGA extremist, as I like to call them, committed what these people do. It's time and time again, you have these transgender, mentally ill people, these far left extremists coming out and committing these crimes. It's absolutely disgusting. So as I had mentioned, the mainstream media, the left mainstream media, some of them cheering on. And TMZ was in the middle of a segment yesterday where the staff apparently started cheering after the death was announced of Charlie.
If he's still on the loose, because they want to find him. So I would think that that's one of the main reasons they're holding this news conference. So my guess is we're going to see an image of this guy possibly in the next 20 minutes. The news conference is scheduled for 3 o'clock in Utah time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Janet, go to have somebody look at the Fox. Trump just posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
All right, so is this ready to pull the trigger? We can get Trump cut in a second.
What did Trump say?
Yeah, who sent it?
So what did Trump say? Yeah, Trump just said he's dead. Yeah, he just said it. Okay.
Absolutely sickening, as you heard early on in the video there, staff clapping. Coincidentally, now Harvey went on to say that Harvey Levin, that they were clapping because a suspect had just got caught as a police chase in California. Hard to believe, seeing what we've seen come out of the left mainstream media. And to the credit of some of these executives, people fired on MSNBC, we won't even say their names because they're not worthy of it. Officials in the NFL fired immediately on the spot. And I think that's what needs to happen in this country in order to go through some sort of healing process, to know that there will be some sort of consequences. It's not right when this happens to anybody, Republican, Democrat, we're all human beings. But these soulless Democrats who have pumped this hatred into these basement dwelling incels who continue to commit these crimes has got to stop. An end has to be brought to it. Before we go to commercial break, Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife will be flying out to Utah on Air Force Two, where they will take the family of Charlie, who are over there, and Charlie's body, and bring it to Arizona, where he'll be laid to rest, and at the funeral proceedings there. A class act on J.D. Vance and a class act on President Trump, who announced earlier today he will give J.D. Vance the highest civilian medal that you could possibly get. So I think the administration handling it very, very well. And our hats off to J.D. Vance and his wife and President Trump for doing such a great job. Just yesterday, folks, before the terrible news happened of Charlie Kirk, we'd recorded an interview with former Congresswoman Mayra Flores. We obviously went live yesterday to bring you a special edition of the Great America Show to bring any developments we can get as they came in. And we appreciate everyone who tuned in. We did a record live stream, so we appreciate everyone tuned in as we paid homage and respects to Charlie. But we recorded this episode with the former Congresswoman Mayra Flores from the great state of Texas, and we're going to bring that to you today after this other side of this quick commercial break. She was one of the members of Congress who was redistricted out as part of the Marxist Democrats' gerrymandering plan a few years back. She had won a special election and then lost the general election by just a few points to a Marxist dem, Vicente Gonzalez. She's now running for Congress again and holds a very, very demanding lead on her fellow Republican primary challengers. And it looks like she's well on her way to victory in the midterms of 2026. We're going to take a quick break here, folks, on the Great America Show. We're going to be joined by former Congresswoman Mayra Flores. On the other side of this quick break, please stay with us. We're coming right back.
I'm excited to announce that we're having a huge sale on overstock and brand new products. For example, MyPillow Percale bed sheets, every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. Our Percale bed sheets are breathable, cool and crisp, and they're perfect for spring and summer. And check out Rev 7, the next generation of energy drinks. It tastes great, and it gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. Best of all, it's actually good for you. And for a limited time, try our 3-pack absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs, or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88. Twin size, full size, queen size, king sizes, all $29.88. Inventory is extremely limited at this price, so order now.
Thanks, everybody, for staying with us here on the Great America Show. Our guest today, as promised, a lady, former Congresswoman, who was a victim of redistricting, and it's about time the Republicans got smart. Governor Greg Abbott, at the leadership of the great Donald J. Trump, doing a little thing called redistricting. Now, when the Democrats do it, it's called gerrymandering because they're completely corrupt about it. But when the Republicans do it, we call it redistricting. Congresswoman Mayra Flores, welcome to the Great America Show. It's great to have you with us. Let's get to first your race. Hopefully your return back to Congress. A new poll out today.
Thank you.
38% among your fellow Republicans, nobody else touching past 5%. So this is your race to win. And I have to add, you have the full and total and complete endorsement of the great Donald J. Trump. So your take on the race, Mayra, and how it's going.
Well, thank you for having me. And yes, we're leading by 33 points. And that is a testament to the hard work that we've been doing in South Texas since 2020. I mean, I've been campaigning for President Trump since he first got elected. And then in 2020, kept campaigning for him. And due to those results in 2020, it inspired me to run for office. They said that I couldn't do it. I did not have any experience in politics. I am a respiratory care practitioner. I'm a mother. I've been focused in local politics and helping, Republicans get elected here in South Texas. And so I decided to also be a part of the change. And we made history in Texas District 34. We flipped a district that had been held by Democrats for over 100 years. We made that happen, and I'm forever grateful. Unfortunately, redistricting hurt us in 22. They made a district that was Biden +4. They made it a Biden +15, practically made it 4 times harder for us to win a re-election. We lost our election in 2024 by only 2 points, but I am very happy that redistricting happened once again, thanks to President Trump, who we were endorsed back in 22 and 24 multiple times. President Trump has always shown support, and we've always shown support towards him as well. Traveled to swing states to put Hispanic roundtables for President Trump, spoke at his rallies. Getting him reelected was very important for me. So I'm forever grateful that he showed so much support and that we were able to support him in getting back in office. And thanks to him, we are in the path to victory. Because of him, redistricting happened here in Texas. He was meant to be the president in this very, very time. I hate what happened in 2020, but I'm glad he's the president right now at this moment.
Yeah, I say it, by the way, Donald Trump is the only president to win 3 elections, the only president in history to ever win 3 elections. And, you know, I think 2020, looking back at it, Mayra, may have been a blessing in disguise. If Donald Trump—
I think so, too.
He did win. There's no doubt about it. Between all the cheating that happened, whatever way you want to look at it, Dropbox, whatever you want to look at it, there's no way that Joseph Robinette Biden surpassed the first Black president for the most votes in history of any person in history. I don't buy it, okay? That's number one. Number two, if Donald Trump did continue on in 2020, I think it would have been a little bit of an uphill battle for him, which is why I say it was a blessing in disguise. Now, I'm not trying to sugarcoat that it was a stolen election, because it absolutely was. But he would have continued on with a divided Congress. He would have probably got nothing done because they had just impeached him once again before leaving.
Right.
And they would have continued on with that nonsense like they'll do if the Republicans somehow, Mayra, find a way to lose the House in 2026.
No, you're absolutely right. And, you know, tough times makes us all stronger. And I think that the Biden administration showed their true colors, showed the Democrats' true colors. Look what they did to our border. They allowed millions of people to cross illegally into our country, destroyed the economy. And so those tough times made us all stronger as a country. And so, you know, tough times have to happen for us to grow. And I'm glad that President Trump is in office at this very moment. So everything happens for a reason. We gotta trust God. It's not always in our timing, but his timing is always better.
Let's talk about your district a little bit. Border town, right?
Yes, it is. We're within minutes away from Matamoros. We're right across from the state of Tamaulipas, a very dangerous state. I was actually born in Tamaulipas. I have family in the state of Tamaulipas, and it continues to be a red zone. Actually, thanks to President Trump, who secured the border, the cartel is now very desperate, and they're doing whatever they can to make up for the losses, because they're not making the billions of dollars that we're making under the Biden administration. So crime has increased in Mexico, kidnapping, and of course they're charging small businesses every single month more. And I mean, they're charging people in Mexico just to have electricity in their home. These are very evil people. It's a terrorist organization that needs to be eradicated. Just like we go fight Hamas and ISIS, we need to destroy this terrorist organization that is right across our border.
If you listen to the Democrats, Mayra, they'll tell you that Republicans are going after people because of their skin color. Right here, looking at you and I, we look the same. Guess what? We're the same on the inside. Okay?
Yes, we are.
But they'll tell us, because you speak better Spanish than me, and I do speak pretty good Spanish, that we're going to go after you because you speak Spanish, or we're going to go after you because your skin looks a certain way, or we're going to go after you because you're in a Spanish church. They're trying to use the divide and conquer tactic, Mayra, that they've used for years, but it didn't work in 2016. It didn't work in 2020, and it didn't work in 2024, because each election that has gone by, Donald Trump has done better with Hispanics than the previous election. They're not buying it anymore. The Democrats have used this tactic for far too long to divide and conquer, and people in the Hispanic community, which I believe your district is overwhelmingly Hispanic, have woken up to the realization that the Democrats, all they want to do is divide and conquer because it gives them more power.
They're the racist party. You know, my opponent, Vicente Gonzalez, said a few days before the election, let's send her back to Burgos. Burgos is in Mexico. It's where I'm from. And he posted it on social media and got away with it because why? Because he's a Democrat. You know, Democrats get away with racism. They're the true racist party. So many times I was told because of the color of your skin, you need to vote this way. Look, yes, I was born in Mexico, but I am an American first. I've been here since I was 6 years old. My roots are here in the United States of America. My family, I go back and my family was born here in Texas, in Victoria, Texas, in Rio Hondo, Texas. My grandfather was born in Rio Hondo, Texas. So, my roots are here in the United States, and the United States of America has given me the opportunities, the freedom, the opportunity to accomplish the American dream. So I will always put the well-being of the American people of this country first, foremost than anything else. And so a lot of people that are born here, raised here, take this country for granted. And that's the entire Democrat Party. Everyone in the Democrat Party, honestly, it's an anti-American. Those few who call themselves moderate should walk away from this horrible party. Or why are they not calling the party out? They're not. They won't. At the end of the day, they will be voting party lines. And the entire Democrat Party is anti-American. They have no love and respect for this country. And so, to those people that support socialism, dictatorship, why don't you leave the United States of America? Why don't you go live in these countries and then tell me how it is? Those people who are here waving the Mexican flag, for example, it's a huge disrespect to the United States of America. You do not see Americans in Mexico waving the American flag. So why do you think you can come here and protest and wave the Mexican flag? It's a huge disrespect, not only to this country, but also to Mexico. And if you're so proud of Mexico, then why are you here?
Yeah.
Nobody's stopping you. Go back to Mexico. If you think Mexico is so much better than the United States. And most of these people, again, were born here in the United States. And I can't stand it. I can't stand the hypocrisy. If you live here in the United States, be proud of being an American. Be proud and defend this country. If not, you're welcome to leave. No one's stopping you.
Yep. And when you say that, I said the same exact thing, Mayra. When you say that, you're a racist, you're this, you're xenophobe, whatever, whatever sort of adjective they want to use to describe you, that's what they do. But a lot of these people, Mayra, believe it or not, it's a lot of these like hippie, blue-haired, liberal Democrats who come out here who have never left even their state, let alone the country.
They're the biggest threat, by the way.
Right. They absolutely are. You look what they're doing here in New York City. They're about to elect a socialist, Marxist, communist, Zohan Mamdani. Quite honestly, I'm looking forward.
I love that you're saying that you're bringing. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm so glad that you're bringing this election, because a few are saying, this is why we have to stop people that immigrate to this country running in this country for any position. But I'll say this: he's not the problem. He's one person. Mm-hmm. It's those that actually support him. Those are the problem. Those people that were born and raised here and actually agree with his mentality. It doesn't matter where he's from. It's the millions of New Yorkers that actually agree with his mentality. Those people are the biggest threat, because you're talking about millions of New Yorkers. He's just one person. So to me, the biggest threat is those that are born and raised here and hate this country. Those are the people that concern me the most.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. and I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard My Pillows absolutely free.
I saw a poll out today that even if Eric Adams gets out of the race and Curtis Sliwa and it's a head-to-head, he still gives Governor Cuomo a mollywop. And as I like to say, if that's what New Yorkers want, don't try to interfere in the election. Let them be. Let these corporations leave New York and go to Florida as they've started to do during COVID. Let them come down to Texas. Let them go everywhere. If this is what New York wants, give them the taste of socialism. And let them
break.
Free. Let them be free. Let the corporations wallow in it. All these CEOs, these big tough guys, Brian Moynihan of Bank of America, Jamie Dimon behind the scenes for Kamala Harris. This is what you guys wanted. This is the new Democratic Party. I say it all the time. There's a 4-party system here now in America. It's not Republicans and Democrats. It's MAGA and rhinos versus Marxists and Democrats. Okay, there are a few Democrats left who maybe can have a voice of reason. It seems John Fetterman has been more of a voice of reason than any Democrat I've ever seen.
He surprised me.
Right, exactly, because he was a socialist running. But let them get what they deserve. If this is what they want, don't interfere in the election. Let New York go bankrupt and then beg the federal government for funding. And this breaks my heart to say it as a person who's
born and
raised in New York, Mayra.
It does too, but they have to break. They have to fall on their knees for them to open their eyes. It's unfortunate, but sometimes that's what it needs to happen. They need to break, fall on their knees to realize what they have done. Hopefully it's not too late and they're able to take back New York. But I believe that same thing. I believe that the Biden administration was meant to happen. It took them to destroy the economy. It took them to open the border completely and allow millions of people to cross illegally into our country, millions of them with criminal record to come here and commit crimes. It took all that to happen for them to wake up and realize that President Trump is what we needed in this country in that very moment. So sometimes bad things need to happen for people to wake up. And it's unfortunate because a lot of times it costs people's lives because the Biden administration took thousands and thousands of lives because a lot of these people that crossed illegally into our country came here to commit crimes, to kill Americans, many children. And it took that to happen for the American people to wake up. And it's hard for me to comprehend why that needs to happen. But unfortunately, a lot of people need bad things to happen to wake up.
A few things there. You said if it's not too late. I've worked in politics my entire professional career, and the way I see it, it's already over. I think there's absolutely no way that Zohan Mamdani wins that mayoral race. So let the chips fall where they may, and get ready because this is what's coming. You had said something that's a little inaccurate, all right, and you're going to be happy with my response. You said Biden allowed thousands and thousands of lives to be lost. It's actually hundreds of thousands, Mayra, if you look at it. Over 100,000, the CDC says it's 80,000 people a year die of drug overdoses, about 55,000 of them.
I hate you, right. I hate it, but you're right.
It's really hundreds of thousands because that 80,000 number doesn't account the people, Mayra, whose parents went into their son's room and found a heroin needle and didn't have to do an autopsy because they know that he overdosed on drugs. So the number is in the hundreds of thousands. Could be up to 500,000 people dead under the Biden regime from drug overdoses. And where are those drugs coming from? They're coming from China. They're coming from Venezuela. We saw last week President Trump blow up this vessel coming. This one, I think, was from Venezuela. Blow it up. And you have Republicans, Rand Paul, out there saying we shouldn't be the world's police. Well, when should you be the police? When you're shipping drugs into America, Mayra?
Oh, send them to hell. President Trump did the right thing. President Trump did the right thing because those drugs were heading to the United States and they were going to end in the streets, our streets, and lives would have been lost. So I applaud President Trump for doing this. I can care less about what happens to these people. Make it quick. send them straight to hell because they were going to hurt our children here in America. And I'm just sick and tired of us giving mercy to criminals. No, we need to give mercy to the good, law-abiding citizens, to the hardworking Americans. Where's the mercy for the good people?
Yeah, Mayra, let's turn to your race here, and not a rhino, I can say, based on your short time spent in Congress. The Heritage Action gives you a 92% score, with the average House Republican 89. Most of them sitting below that in the 80s, which is terrible. So you're a proven conservative who's meant to return back to Congress. Let's talk about your return. That seems pretty imminent, as it's going to happen in just over a year now, hopefully. What are your plans to return to Congress? We see, as I mentioned before, we have the Rhino and the MAGA party, and it's a few rhinos, but one bad apple, upsets the entire bunch. What are you going to do upon return? What's your big issues? What's your outlook?
The economy. The American people right now are going through very difficult times. President Trump is doing the best that he can, but more needs to be done, because at the end of the day, right now, most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and they're being overworked. The problem is not a revenue problem. Americans are paying trillions of dollars in taxes. We don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem in this country. And so we need to focus on strengthening the economy, and where the American people have more power of their hard-earned money. Because a lot of people say, well, we need all these things and the government needs all these things. I believe that the American people have the right to decide what they do with their money and how they spend it. And so I just don't trust the government spending our money anymore. So we need smaller government, and our government needs less control of our hard-earned money. So, the economy is a top priority for me. Child trafficking is another important issue that I don't think that is being talked enough. The United States leads in child trafficking and child pornography. Mexico is a provider. They bring in children. Why? Because there's a demand in this country. And so I believe in second opportunities, but someone who traffics, they need to be sent to prison for the rest of their life. We need harsher laws when it comes to child trafficking. And that would end child trafficking if we put these people in prison. I don't care if you just press a button, because you pressing that button, that child is getting abused in Latin America, anywhere in the world, because you chose to press that button, and you deserve to rot in prison for the rest of your life. And so there is no strong legislation that put these people in prison. And so we can blame Mexico all day we want, or all these countries, for bringing in these children. But why do they bring them here? Because there's a demand in this country. Same thing with drugs. Why do they bring drugs into this country? Because there's a demand in this country. So the root of the problem is getting our fellow brothers and sisters out of drug abuse, right? So we need more funding to help them get out of drug abuse, so that we lower the demand, because there's only so much control we have of what Mexico does and Latin America does, but we have control of what happens in our country. So we need to clean up our home. And so a lot of drugs come in, but what leaves the United States also? Guns leave the United States, and money. We do a lot of inspections coming into our country. We do inspections, but we do not do any southbound inspections. I want every vehicle leaving the United States to be inspected, because I know for a fact that guns and money are leaving the United States. So yes, we have inspections coming into the United States, but we do not have any inspections leaving southbound. And many say, well, Mexico is doing the inspections. Let me tell you, not too long ago, I crossed into Mexico. You either get the green light or the red light. And I guarantee you that the vehicle carrying the guns and the money gets the green light and does not get inspected. And so, no, I'm not going to rely on Mexico. I want every vehicle inspected on our side before they leave the United States of America.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I've done the drive down to Texas through Tijuana, I've done a border run on South Carolina. I guess
I'm sure you got the green light.
I absolutely did. I did the whole border tour at San Ysidro and along the border there with Border Patrol agents as they explained to me what happens. And I think it's slowed down a lot since Donald Trump is back in office as we see these numbers. But the problem is that nobody's taken on, Mayra, is the drug cartels. And Donald Trump, I guess his first term around, floated exactly what he did last week, taking these people to task and killing them. If Donald Trump, now I'm not saying he's going to do this, but it wouldn't be the worst idea to start blowing up some of these drug factories in Mexico. They know exactly where they are. It's very simple with old technology of geothermal heat. They can see exactly where it's producing heat, where they're cooking the drugs, or where they're doing it. Very, very simple. If Mexico doesn't want to take care of it, I think America has no choice but to finally take on a war they can win. And it's a war against these drug cartels. Now, I'm not saying putting troops into Mexico to do this, but as you saw in Iran, we have very, very good missile technology.
I would support that. If President Trump decided to do that, I would 100% support it. Actually, President Trump is doing more for Mexico than the Mexican government. Family in Mexico who say that to me all the time, that President Trump is doing a lot more for Mexico than its own government, and that's a fact. And I would support 100% if President Trump decide to do something like that. I would applaud because this terrorist organization needs to be eradicated. Just like we go and fight Hamas and ISIS abroad, we need to also fight this terrorist organization. They shouldn't be exempted from it. And they're a lot closer. They're right here, right next to us. So they're a lot more dangerous. And they do the same things that Hamas and ISIS does. And so we shouldn't be making any exceptions.
And not to give any credence to Hamas or ISIS, but these people have killed far more Americans than Hamas, ISIS, and Al-Qaeda and any terrorist organization throughout history has killed combined. As I mentioned, over 100,000 people a year. Mayra, we're looking forward to the return of you to Congress. Where can people go to support you? Where could they go to follow you? You get the last word here. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Well, if you live in Texas District 34, I humbly ask for your support. If you live anywhere in the United States, we would love for you to help us by donating to our campaign, so we're able to have the funding to spread the message throughout the entire district. If you can share our social media messaging as well, you can comment. Anything helps. Be a part of this historic win in 2026. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Mayra Flores for Congress.com, folks. Go there, check it out. Make a contribution if you can. Every dollar counts in Mayra's fight against the rhinos and the Marxist dems. Mayra, we wish you the best of luck. Come back soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America.
Folks, you can contribute to Mayra or check her out, Mayra Flores for Congress.com. We recommend you do that, and we ask that you do that. We need more voices like her back in Congress to fight the Marxist dems and the rhinos of the world. That's all for us, folks, today here on The Great America Show. We'll see you back here tomorrow for The Great America Show, where the quest, you guessed it, for truth, justice, and the American way continues. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, may God bless you, may God bless America, and may God bless the great Lou Dobbs. Have a great night, everybody. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.